back to my channel. Today we are making dry rice, so these are just the items that I'll be using, so come along and let's get into it. First things first, I am going to start cutting off the salt pork. So you can go ahead and cut it out as big as you want, as small as you want, but I'm kind of cutting them out in some medium-sized portions. So yeah, make sure you cut them out really good, just to your liking, and put them on the side just like I'm doing. Put them in a bowl as you go along. It's up to you. So as you can see, I am still cutting off the pork because I'm using all of it. Depending on the size of your meal, you can choose to use the entire salt pork, or you can use half of it. It all depends on the size of your meal. For today's meal, I'm definitely going to be using all of this. I'm just about done here cutting out everything, and I'm going to just put them in a bowl. So now I'm using about 4 sausages and I'm cutting them out. Again, you can cut them out as big or small as you want. It's up to you. You can make as many as you want, but I'm just using 4 for this meal. And I'm putting it in a bowl. I got my luncheon meat, which I am opening up. And as soon as I can get it out of here, I'm going to start cutting it out. So here I go, just cutting them into bigger pieces right before I start cutting them into smaller pieces. So I am making a big meal, so I'm going to try to cut this out in as many pieces as I'm able to. You are welcome to make it as big as you want or as little as you want. All depends on how you like it. So I'm cutting them out and I'm putting them into a bowl as I go along. And I'm just about done. Okay, now I got my okra, my pepper, my kittere, birabo, everything in one pot boiling. And on the other side, I'm frying some chicken. So I've washed my rice already, and what I'm doing now is just adding in the salt pork along with my cut out sausage. I'm also adding in some seasoning. So you want to go ahead and add in everything that you're using, and then you don't have to use the same meat I'm using. You can use whatever you want to use. This is what I'm using, and I'm just adding in my seasoning as I go along. You want to be careful with the seasoning. I wouldn't add too much, just add little by little as you go along, and see as you're tasting the food and see whether you need to add more or not. So be careful with it. I'm still adding just a little bit more. Now that I've got that, I'm gonna go ahead and stir it up a little bit and just let it sit for about 15 to 20 minutes. So it's been about 15 minutes exact, and my rice is pretty much done, but I'm gonna add it cool off just a bit longer. But it's looking pretty good so far. I'm just gonna taste the rice to see how far along it is, and it's almost done. Like I said, I'm adding my corned beef now. Adding my corned beef, and I'm adding in the luncheon meat, and I'm gonna go ahead and also add my sardine and just stir it up real well. Yep, you want to make sure you stir this really good, guys, so everything goes around. Get to it and everything is done, so I'm just gonna be beating them in the mortar one by one. If you have a mortar, go ahead and do it in there. If you have a blender, put it in a blender, but I'm choosing to beat mine in the mortar. But you can use a blender if you choose to. It's all up to you. So as you can see, I'm beating it. You want to be careful so you don't splash this in your eyes, because if you do, it's really gonna stink. So be careful as you do it. And it's just about done. So my birabo is done, and what I'm doing is just emptying it in a bowl, getting everything out. Next, I am going to be beating the okra and the kittere together. Guys, you can choose to blend everything together with the pepper, but I'm doing mine separate just because you don't have to do it like this. This is just to my own liking. So what I'm doing now is just beating it. You can add seasoning as you go along if you want to, but I advise you to make sure you check the seasoning of your rice and your fish and chicken before adding seasoning into this. Okay, so you don't actually have to add seasoning, okay, but you can do so if you want to. Okay, so I'm just beating it. Again, you want to be careful to avoid it splashing in your eyes. Please, this is not a good feeling, I promise you. So be careful as you do this, or you can use the blender. So my okra and my kale is done, and again I am emptying it in a separate bowl. Now I am going to be beating the pepper by itself. This is where you really want to be careful. Please be careful, because we all know how much pepper burns. So I'm just gonna beat it as I take my own time and just go along slowly here. And these things, they really parboil so well. See, once it's parboiled well, you'll see it's beating so smoothly. It's going so smoothly. Also notice that I did add seasoning to only the pepper because I want my pepper to taste good. I don't want it to just be plain like that. So, but you don't have to do this if you don't want to. So guys, my pepper is done. As you can see, this is how it looks, and that's it. This right here is optional, but I'm choosing to fry my pepper. So I'm frying it because I don't want it to be just like that. But like I said, this is optional. You can do this, or you can just leave the pepper as it was in the mother. But I want mine to be fried, so that's what I'm doing right here. My rice is done. It's all done. As you can see, it's done, and it looks so delicious. Check it out. You see that? Yes. This is the finishing touch. I am all done. I can't wait to eat this food, and I wish you could join me. But thank you so much for watching.